Welcome again, everyone. Thank you. Thank you to our musicians, Del, Lolita, Carla May, and Chris and Chris. Sorry, Randy. It's a pleasure to be here again. I'm always blessed and honored to be able to speak here. And I think people know me well enough. I like to speak and can speak on anything. And it's a unique challenge for me sometimes to take a science of mind topic that we have for the week and study it and research it. And well, how does this apply to my life that I can share with you and all of this? And today is a prime example of that, what we're doing. What we've been talking about for the month of November, as Chris mentioned, is the mundane, the sacred, and the profane. Oh my. What that means is how can we take these principles, in particular, we have this principle here at Science of Mind that we are all one and that God is all there is. How can we apply this if something is mundane, if something is profane, or as we're going to look at today, if something is sacred? And then who is to decide what is or what is not sacred? A question that I will be asking several times today is what shift, and this is a question I've been asking myself a lot lately, what shift in my consciousness, what shift in my perspective must there be to allow me to view whatever is happening in my life as sacred? And we're going to get into some examples of that. But before I go also further with this, one of the things that I truly admire about this philosophy that we have here at Science of Mind is that one of our goals, for lack of a better word, is this idea that we want to create a better world. We want to create a world that works for everyone, not just for the majority, whether it's a political party, or the majority, whether it's a particular type of ethnicity or something like that, wherever in the world that we may be. But we want to create a world that works for you, for me, for him, for her, for them, for she, whatever pronouns that they use. We want to create a world that works for everyone. Well, how do we do that? I think here at Science of Mind, we have a unique opportunity to lead by example, to take the leadership on this. And one of the ways that we do what we're going to explore today is this idea of viewing everything as sacred. Can something be sacred that we would normally not think of as sacred? I'm going to challenge you here very shortly with that exact question, with a picture that we have in mind. But for today, Science of Mind, they ask us to redefine what does sacred mean. Now, me, when I talk and I get these fancy words, I have to go to the dictionary. I always start with the dictionary. So this is what the dictionary says about sacred. Sacred is defined as dedicated or set apart, highly valued, and important. And that makes sense. That's a normal definition that we've heard. A sacred memory, a sacred treasure, a sacred event or time that you had in your life, something like that. But what we're being asked today here is to redefine that word sacred. What if we were to give a spin on that definition of sacred and look at it from a new perspective, a new angle, a new paradigm? And what if instead of we reserve this definition for certain expressions, places, times, and events, that we could understand this idea of sacred as being a connection to all that is? I'm going to say that again, a connection to all that is. What if we define sacred also as this idea of a mindset, a particular way of thinking, led by our intention? And what if we looked at this idea of sacred as inspired divine action? The affirmation for this week, I want to read this because this is very profound. I open myself up to the adventure of finding the sacred in the unexpected. I want to read that again. I open myself up. That's key right there. I open myself up, not just my head, but my heart, my consciousness, my being, who I am. I open myself up to the adventure. I love that word because I'm an adventurer. Those that know me know I live the minimalist lifestyle. I live in the woods in a trailer, and I meditate all day. And adventure is my key to everything. But I open myself up to the adventure of finding the sacred and the unexpected. What if every single one of us, not just in this room right now, but in this city, in this state, in this country, in this planet, in this continent, whatever, what if every single person did that? What if they completely open themselves up, they open their mind, their heart, their spirit to finding the sacred in whatever is? Imagine what our world would be like. We want world peace. We always talk about world peace. We want to make a better world, not just for ourselves, but for everyone in it, so that it works for everyone. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. We open ourselves up to the adventure of finding the sacred and the unexpected. And why is this important? Because here at Science of Mind, we say that sacred is everything. Sacred is found in all things because it is all things. Another way of saying that God is found in everything. God is found in all things. And what if this became our new understanding of what something means to be sacred? What would happen to our lives? What would happen to our communities? Ernest Holmes states this: the spirit is both an overdwelling and an indwelling presence. We are immersed in it, and it flows through us as our very life. Now, it can be a whole bunch of different things. It can be getting stuck in traffic. It can be hitting your head on the counter, or not the countertop, the cupboard that you forgot to close in your tiny home. It can be, this is a good one, this happened to me the other day. It's my laundry day. Normally I have a laundry facility where I live, and normally I stop there to get change, and I use a different laundromat in Skiatook. Now the Skiatook one has a laundromat and a change facility today, but normally I like to get my change ahead of time, and then I can get there and just roll right into my laundry. Now, of course, this day, I'm like, you know what? I'm too tired. I don't want to make the extra 5 steps or whatever out of my car, go get change, and then go to Skiatook. I'll just do my laundry in Skiatook and get change there. I get in my car. I have if you're a bachelor, you don't do laundry every week. I don't know if you know that. You let it pile up. And so, I'm like, oh, got my laundry here. And I've got, all my blankets too, because, I have my rescue dog, and she sleeps on the bed too. And, you cannot not let her sleep on the bed. So the blankets need to be washed every week. So I got all my blankets, and I'm not gonna lie, probably 5 weeks worth of laundry. So that's a little trick for those in the bachelorhood. You don't wash things, you just go buy another pair of underwear. But I got all my laundry, and I put it in my car, and I go, oh. And this time I even remembered my laundry stuff, because last time I forgot my laundry stuff. So I had to go to Walmart to get, because there's a Walmart just down the road from it. And I thought, I'm not going to get change this time. I'll just get it up there. I've got plenty of I had a $5 bill, and I think 5 ones, and I think a 10. So I had plenty of money to do my laundry, not that big a deal. And I get there, and I take it out, and I get this massive load of laundry, walk up to it, and I put it down, and I look up, and right on the door, guess what it says? No change today. And I did not see the sacred in that. I saw the profane. Yes, I saw the profane in that. I did not see the sacred of that at first. I looked at that, and I looked at my laundry, and I won't repeat exactly what I said, but it was bleep, am I going to do? And I looked at my laundry again. I looked at that, and I thought, okay, I've got to have some coins in my car. I'm just going to put it out there that I've got some extra change in my car. So I opened it. I brought my laundry in there, put it on the counter, whatever, put my soap up there. And of course, the first thing I do is text. There's an emergency text number. And I said, what are you going to get? Or what did I say? Do you know when the change machine will work? Trying to be nice and all that. And I go back to my car, and I open it up. And I had forgotten that I had this in my car. I put this in my car probably 4 years ago, because here in Oklahoma, when I first moved here, I didn't know this. You have tolls. And you know about tolls? Tolls need what? Change. I had a big, massive bag of change in my car that I had completely forgotten about. And I started digging through this, like, here's 1 quarter, here's another quarter, here's another quarter. And I got enough quarters to do 1 load of laundry and 1 dry. Now, it says very clearly, do not overstuff the machine. Yeah, we're not going to mess with it. I thought, I'm going to do 1 load of laundry. It is what it is. I don't have the ability to just go to Walmart and get, like, $5 in quarters or whatever. And I don't have a bank account here. My bank is still back in Oregon. And my branch, of course, Oklahoma is the only state that my branch is not in. So go figure. And I'm looking at, so I get this load of laundry going. And the lady texts me back and she goes, and her answer was not anytime soon with regards to the change. And I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. And then I caught myself. I was going downhill, seeing the profanity in the situation. And I thought, you know what? There's got to be something sacred about this. I don't know what it is. And here's the key. You don't have to know what it is. You don't have to know what the sacred is in whatever event you have going on. You just have to know that there's something. I had no clue what it was. So you know what I decided to do there? Laugh and enjoy my laundry and enjoy the moment. I'm getting one load of laundry done. And I kid you not, this is a true story. About the laundry and I know this, it takes 33 minutes. At 32 minutes, guess who walks in? The change lady. And I didn't know it at first. Because I didn't recognize her. And I saw her come in, and then I saw her walk around, and I saw her open the office management door. And I ran over there real quick, and I'm like, do you have change? Do you have change? And she goes, give me 5 minutes and I will. And in 5 minutes, she had filled the change machine, and then I could do the rest. And it didn't even take me any extra time, because I figured out I'm going to combine this with this and all this, and then just shove it all in the dryer. And I was only there about an extra 10 minutes. But my point is, I did not see the sacred in this event at first. This is one of a couple of events this week. I was texting Dell earlier, Brad, I can't open your email images. I said, what? But he did. But my point is, we don't have to know what the sacred is. But when we take time to sit back and recognize our consciousness and say, you know what? What is the sacred in this? How do I expand my consciousness in this moment to see the sacred in whatever is happening? And in this case, I didn't even know. I just said, you know what? I'm going to laugh. Just laugh. Laugh and smile. Let life play out the way life is playing out. Science of Mind says this: our awareness of the infinite leads us on a path of discovery and an understanding that we are inextricably connected to this presence, the all that is, the sacred. We know that the sacred is not something found in far-off dreams or even something that is separate from us all. Instead, this is key, the sacred can be found in everything that exists, if only we tune in our attention to this awareness. The sacred can be found in everything that exists if we only tune our consciousness into that. And Ernest Holmes says this: there is not a day in my life that goes by that I do not take the time to unify myself and my consciousness with big things. So every day he's practicing this, unifying himself and consciousness, whatever is going on in his life. So many people, Brad, how do I find my inner peace? How do I live a life of peace? This is how you do it. You take time for yourself to tune into your own consciousness, what's going on around you. To think, and Ernest Holmes goes on to say, to think I am one with all activities, all industries, all commerce, and just feel that through reaching out and encompassing the largest fields of activity of the world. Then you are one with the infinite stars in the heavens, and that is to see things. Imagine that thought for a second. Imagine your consciousness expanding to be one with all activities, all industries, all commerce. Now, again, imagine that activity. You're stuck in traffic. Imagine that activity. You see a starving child on TV. Imagine that activity. You see a missile launched, attacking another country, regardless of whose missile it is, whether it's a red, white, and blue missile or a Hamas missile. How do we raise our consciousness to be one with that event? Because if we don't, the world is going to continue as is right now. And I don't know about all of you, but it's a world that only works for a select few. It doesn't work for everyone, unfortunately. We have the chance to be leaders, to lead by example, by who we are, by who we are being. Fortunately for us here at Centers for Spiritual Living, we had a leader that did this, that unified his consciousness with all activities. Ernest Holmes did this. Can we do this? Can we carry the torch? Can we pass on the legacy? It's a huge, huge question. It's a huge, huge responsibility. I want to go back again. The question I asked at the very beginning. What shift must there be in your awareness and my awareness and our awareness to view all activities, all events, everything going on in our lives as sacred? Science of Mind offers these 3 points of view, how we can move forward in our consciousness to begin understanding all things as sacred. First, we say here again, one of our core principles, that we are one with everything and everyone. Not just what we label as good, not just the birthday parties, not just the birth of a grandchild, but also the being stuck in traffic. Also the no change right now stuck on the door. Also my printer doesn't work. Also my GPS taking me to the complete wrong location earlier today. And it caused me to be 20 minutes late, only to find out everybody's GPS took them to the wrong place. So it worked out. We are one with everything and everyone. That includes the items we judge as good or bad, appropriate or inappropriate, whatever that may be. And I stress this, and I stressed this before, but it's easy for us to see the oneness, to see the connection and moments that bring us joy. Our weekly Saturday celebration of service here, a robust dinner night out with friends, wonderful music, a day sitting peacefully in nature. These are the easy moments. The connection that is felt during these moments of deep reflection and inner work can be used to train us, for when the difficult life events show up, for when what we label as challenging, what others, as Ernest Holmes would label as opportunity, as connection, as oneness. The reality is that oneness, the connection, that expanding our consciousness, that seeing the sacred in all events can and is felt not just at the birthday parties, not just at the birth of a grandchild, not just at a wedding, not just as, oh, I got an extra $5,000 refund from the IRS in the mail. Yeah. Ooh. It can be felt when we're watching the news. It can be felt when we're listening to a sermon that you completely do not agree with. Maybe this one. It can be felt when you're doing a chore you really don't like. Laundry, such as mine. The trick is to go back to our core principle, to our core understanding of who we are and what we're all about. And it's the idea of connection with oneness. That God is everything, everywhere. I remember this too, and I wanted to put this in here. About 2-3 weeks ago, I was reading a blog, and I don't remember where I read it or exactly who the author was, so I can't cite her, but she had a fascinating trick for doing this, for being able to see the sacred in all things, regardless of the event. She has a key phrase, and it's very simply, it's 2 very simple words. And you can use this anytime something in your life is going on that you perceive as profanity or mundane, something like that. And she says, that's fascinating. And it works. The other day, I'm in my tiny home. And if you've ever seen a tiny home, and if you've ever in any home underneath the sink, you've got a very tiny crawl space. Well, in my tiny home, it's about the size of this computer screen right there. So of course I'm going in there and I'm trying to, be careful, slow, and navigate and all that, and just trying to reach something. And and instantly you forget, I don't know how I do this, but then I'm in a closed space. And so I come out real fast. And what do? I hit my head. And I immediately went, Gah! And I stopped myself. And I remember this article. And I go, what? You know what? That's fascinating. That's fact. Try this. Try this. 2 words. That's fascinating. You don't even have to know why. You don't even have to know what is fascinating about it. Next time something is going on in your life, to train our consciousness, to see the sacred in all things, 2 words. I got 2 words for you. That's fascinating. However you get to the top, however you view something as sacred, or whatever works for you, it's all one thought. The outcome is the same, to see the sacred. Whether it's these 2 words, that's fascinating, whether it's taking a breath and laughing at the moment, laughing at the situation. Again, I will ask, what shifts, if any, are necessary in your awareness to view this connection with all things? And then we're asked to take a look at our own mindset. Our mindset, how we think about something. And it has been programmed through our upbringing, through our culture, through our society, through all kinds of things that we hear, that we feel, that we say, that we think, that we do. But can our mindset change so that we can view something as sacred? We're going to find out real quick. I'm going to show you a quick picture here. And thank you to Dell, who got his printer working so that I could do this. I'm going to show you a picture. And all I want you, and I'm going to know by your reactions right away. But as soon as you see this picture, the first thought that comes to your mind, that's all I want you to make note of. Just one word. Okay. It can be up, down, tall, short, whatever. And I'll come up closer so you can see this at home, watching on TV. But this is an idea of how your mind is pre-programmed to think about something. So is everybody ready to see this picture?
Yeah.
You want me to show it again? Okay. On the count of 3, here we go. So again, just the first word. And I'm sorry, I'm going over my time, but just the first word, or just the first thought that comes to your mind. Here we go. Yeah, see? Can you see it okay, Charlene? And at home, can you see it? And on Facebook Live. Okay, just the first word. I'm going to take a wild guess at one of those words for at least one person was cute.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, your word. Yeah, cute puppy. Okay, it is cute. Not my. Didn't have one of my daughter. Okay, let's test this theory again. I'm going to show you another picture. And again, same thing. I want just the first word that comes to your mind. Okay. And take a time out. We've got somebody online here. Oh, Ruth keeps exiting and entering. Sure, there we go. Okay. Again, and I'm gonna probably know right away by your expressions, but again, just look at this picture. No thinking about it, nothing like that. Just the first word that comes to your mind. Everybody ready? And 3, 2, 1. Can you see it back there? Okay, can you see it, Dolores? Okay, here, pass that back to me, will you?
Is it a wig on a pig?
Close. It's a wig on a, what kind of dog is that, Bill? Okay, something like that. The point is, the first one, most people thought cute. And the second one, I'm going to take a wild guess. Most people thought something along the lines of ew or something, or what was it? Character? Okay. So an interesting. It's supposed to be an ugly dog. That's the closest one I could find to kind of show us how our brain is automatically programmed to think this or that. So we're going to see if we can change that. Now, what we want to do is look at a picture and see it for not only what it is, but what else it could be. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a third picture. And I want you, again, you're going to take a look at this picture and just this time, what is it? And is it what it is? Does something appear to always be what it is? Because if we want to learn to see the sacred, we have to learn to start seeing things for something other than what they are, from what other than they appear to be. So on the count of three, I'm going to show you one more picture. You ready?
Mhm.
Now, what do you see? This time I'm just asking, what do you see? What is it?
Lovers.
Oh, okay.
Face.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to show this online. Can everybody see it?
Yeah.
Jeannie, can you see it okay?
I can, I got it figured out.
Okay, Randy, can you see it okay? Okay, and Mike? Okay. Now, how many of you saw like a candle holder? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you saw maybe two people facing each other getting ready to kiss each other? Okay. How many of you saw both?
Right.
Can this be possible in the real world? Can you see a traffic jam?
So we have, what's the last one?
You've got, if you look at the white, it
I got
looks
that.
what
I
appears
saw
to be a
it.
candle
I
holder, but if you look at the two
yeah.
black shades,
Yeah.
it could be two faces look
I see
almost
that,
about to
yeah.
kiss each other. Yeah. So when we have something going on in our life, does it always appear to be what it is? Can one of these that we see be the sacred? We could say one is the profane, but can the other be the sacred? So when we learn to see something for what it may not necessarily be, but for what else it can be. Okay. So let me read this real quick. This shift in framework creates an expansive view of ourselves, others, and the world around us. It calls us to lean into life, to operate from a new vantage point, to explore the sacred in both expected and unexpected ways. For example, where we may have once overlooked something, so maybe we overlooked the candle parts, or maybe we overlooked the two people facing each other. We begin to place our attention and intention in this area. Through this lens, the label sacred that was once reserved for our meditation cushions begins to be found in our everyday activities. Stuck in traffic, a tax bill, a foreclosure, a divorce, an illness, a health issue, and in my case, doing laundry. This is how we become the change we wish to see in the world. This is how we begin to create a world that works for everyone. One more time, what, if any, shift in your mindset, in your consciousness, is necessary to see beyond the surface into the truth of what is? One more point before I wrap this up. We have talked about connection, being one with all there is. We just talked about mindset, seeing something for other than what it appears to be. We are now asked to expand our consciousness through a third way: sacred action. Sacred action. Taking sacred action becomes easy when we turn within, when we allow spirit to guide us, when we allow our heart to guide us. Following our divinely inspired guidance to be, do, say, and have how we wish our world to be. And when we remain connected to our intuition and move forward from this space, it becomes relatively simple to be a source, to be the light. The sacred is saying yes when we are called to say yes, stepping out into the unknown and bringing our authentic selves to the activity of life. So now I'm going to show you one more picture. And your goal this time is to see beyond what this really is, to see the sacred in this, no matter what it is. And I'll show it to you and then I'll give you some more explanation. Our job as leaders is to go beyond what we see, to look for the sacred. This is how we begin to create a world that works for everyone. Okay, is everybody ready for this picture? Again, you're going to be challenged now because your mind is going to automatically think one thing. I won't say what that is, but I'm challenging you now to see the sacred in this activity, this event that's going on. Everybody ready? Okay, and again, I'll explain a little bit more here in a second, but here we go. 3, 2, 1 3/4. No, I'm kidding. This is not a rocket. This is a ballistic missile being fired by one country against another country. Now, it's easy to see the profane in this. And what I'm asking right now is, how do we see the sacred in this? If we do not learn to see the sacred in this, again, we at Science of Mind have an opportunity to be leaders in this for those at home. Okay. So this is an intercontinental ballistic missile being launched by, I won't say the countries, I don't want to bias your impression, but it's an intercontinental ballistic missile that was launched about, well, I won't say when either. It was more than 2 years ago, I'll say that, by one country against another country. Now, regardless of what country launched it and what country it was launched again, our brains tend to go towards the ugly dog, towards the profane like mine. Our challenge becomes finding the sacred in this. And to do that, I want to read a quote by Thich Nhat Hanh. Each thought, each action in the sunlight of awareness, each thought, each action in the sunlight of our own awareness of our consciousness becomes sacred. And I see all of that within all of you. Chris and Trish, the sacred action I see within the two of you is your ability to inspire through music. Charlotte, the sacred action I see within you is your ability to be present and listen. Myrna, the sacred action, the sacred light of action that I see within you is your ability to be a humanitarian, what the world needs. Dolores, the sacred light of action I see within you is your ability to inspire every morning with your posts. And I don't have time to go to everyone, but I would say each and every one of you has a sacred light of action. Teaching, music, health, whatever it may be. You have that within you. Now bring that to the world by seeing the sacred in everything around you. So let me wrap this up. Thank you for allowing me to go over time today. And let me say this, we are all seekers of the truth and all bringers of the truth. To truly create a world that works for everyone, we must begin to view the sacred in all persons, events, and activities around the world through seeing the connection that we have to all things, the mindset that we bring forth into the world, and viewing every action as sacred. And this is no easy task. I'm not saying this is an easy task by any means, but this is what Ernest Holmes did. This is what Ernest Holmes taught, as well as many of our great spiritual leaders throughout history. Yogananda, Jesus, Buddha, Gandhi, just to name a few. Love thy neighbor, love thy enemy, love thy action, and do unto others as you'd have done unto you. And when all of us, not just Science of Mind, but all people, all walks of life, all cultures embrace this, then we can have a world that works for everyone. And again, I'll conclude this by saying we here at Science of Mind, Centers for Spiritual Living, we have a chance, an opportunity to lead by example, to be leaders in this movement, to create a world that does work for everyone. And we can do this when we further examine our own consciousness and ask, what shift is necessary in my consciousness to view all things as sacred? Thank you, and so it is. I went way over time today. I apologize.
critic.